I'm amazing. I'm amazing.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh, he killed me.
I'm getting brutally slaughtered.
No, that was an accident. No, that was an accident. That was an accident.
Ooh, was that a triple collab?
Get up. No.
I hate this game. I freaking hate this game.
Oh, I fell. I did the water bucket thing. I did the water bucket thing.
Nice. Don't touch it. No!
Last Pokemon left, and our full team still with us. The nerves were high, but seeing that it was a Torkoal gave us some relief.
Torkoal.
I changed to the wrong guy. Hydro pump the hell out of him. Let's go!
Just like that, we defeated the champion of the Hoenn region in our first ever Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Yo! What's up, guys? We have song requests on. And yeah. Wait, let me just X stuff out. So, how's everyone doing? It is live. It's working, right? Why I don't see... Oh, here. Show player. There we go. Okay, cool. What's up, Nathan? What's up, Depth? What's up, Rasquila? Hello, Simply Lover.
Jelly bean time.
Jelly bean. Welcome all. Thank you for the jelly bean. I should change the placement of jelly bean. Oh, it's gonna be nasty. Whew, this is a nasty bean. Thankfully, I could drink water and stretch after it. Okay, yeah, we're doing Pokemon Gaia Randomizer Nuzlocke. But yeah, how was everyone's weekends? We've been doing Pokemon almost exclusively. I don't know what flavor it is. I'm too dumb. What flavor was it? Dead stinky sot? No. I think it was dead fish. But I've eaten so many of these that I'm kind of okay with it. Okay. first. Okay? As you guys can see, the sub counter says 8 out of 5. Because last time we passed 5. Because I gifted 5 subs. So, the big question is, what does that mean, right? Well, I'll show you guys exactly what that means right now. Okay? We have a wheel. Okay? It's like a wheel of fortune. I'm gonna spin the wheel and we'll see what happens. Oh. We got hats. Okay. For those of you that don't know, hats means that we put on a hat. We put 3 hats on, okay? Where's my bouton? Hopefully you guys saw that, but that was the first time we put the wheel. Let me go get my hats and I'll re-chat in a moment. Also, I have to reset the alert thingy. So since we're at 8 out of 5, that means 3 out of 5 for next time. Mute alert. Where is it? Reload overlays. Widget data. Goals. 8 out of 5 becomes 3 out of 5. Quick maths. Okay, let me go get some hats. Oh my god. Way too many hats. Pink should play Poppy Playtime? What is that? My weekend is spent doing homework? You're doing like engineering or something, right? How's that going? I'm done with this, but wasn't Latin the name with image going to hell? What? I don't understand. Sorry, simple. That wasn't very simple. I'm confusion. The overlay didn't do the thing. I'm such a professional streamer. I think if I press reload overlays, that should fix it. Okay, let's get into it. This is our... We've reset it 2 times already. Hopefully we won't have to reset too many times today. I added like 20 more things. So we could reset like 20 more times. Hopefully we won't have to though. Engineering is so hard, I didn't sleep for days. Jesus. That sounds terrible. I can't even put these hats on. Are you doing good at least? E. Resident Evil could be cool. I've never played it. By the way, you guys can put music on if you'd like. Oh, my boy. Okay, let's go with Pong. Hey, it did go back to 3 out of 5. Lit. Hats look snazzy. Thank you. We actually have 3 hats on. It might be hard to see. Because the third one is like the chicken one. Why is the next song not playing? Sometimes... Oh, there it is. Sometimes it takes forever to play. Oh, it's Angel. Oh, I didn't know who it was with the gamer tag. You came before too, right? And it's Simpy, but wanted Landon the name tag that is imagine going to hell. Oh. Why'd you change your name? 4 hats? I was thinking someone would make me wear 4 hats. Oh my god, man. Alright. We gotta go with the Ping Pong Masters official, non-official merch hat. Jesus Christ. This is gonna be one of the few times I'm gonna zoom out just so you guys could see the hats. Where's the hats? Where's the hats? This is a slow song. Where is the hat? Where is webcam? How you doing though, Angel? There's two angels though that come by. Look at that. Let's zoom out. I actually can't really zoom out because of the green screen, but you know. Just know that there's a lot of hats on me. I'll just do this. I'll play like this.
What's up, guys? It's Ping Pong Masters.
But yeah. I didn't. This is a different account. Oh. Why do so many people have so many accounts? Is Imagine Going to Hell Landon? I don't remember what Landon's exact account was. But it was something like Imagine Going to Hell, yeah. I think so. Oh, I have to go get the book. This game would be really annoying to do a shiny lock on or something. Because there's so much required before getting your first Pokemon. Hey, what's up, Mac? How are ya? Hey, Pee-Pee. 4 ads because why not? I guess so. By the way, next, depending on whether the new game comes out by then or not, I'd like to do a shiny lock. If it's the new game, I don't know if I'll do a shiny lock right away, but that would be kind of crazy. All right, let's see what Pokemon we got. Yes, your birthday's, I think, birthday's coming up soon, right? Hey, Overseas Chihuahua. Guess whose turn? Yeah, your birthday's next week, right? Or something. That's when you become legal to watch Twitch, I think. Lol. Alright, let's choose our Pokemon. Ooh, Superior. Scorpy. And a goat. Alright, we'll go with a fully evolved Pokemon here. But the others are pretty cool too. What nickname? What nickname to give him? You excited? What are you gonna do for your birthday, bro? This song is way too slow. Skip it. You do Archie now? Archery? How's that going? Next Friday I'm leaving for my trip, but on Saturday is my birthday. Nice. Where are you going again? Name it Long Grass. Grass. Nah, but that makes me think of naming it Snake, because long. That was a good help. Good help. We'll name him Snake. So, Punk, my name is Sub. Your name will always be Sub. Because that's what people need to know. I'm going to Carolina. Ayy. I also washed my hair. Ayy. Name it Rasquilla. Nah. Yeah, maybe the next Pokemon. Alright, so now that we have a Pokemon, we can't catch anything here, but... Okay, Ekans might be our first guy. I think there's a few Pokemon. Ooh, Mareep would be sexy. Mareep would be great. So let's go to his house and open the care package. Well, I think I was supposed to talk to them after that. You just started Archie? What's Archie? Archery? Or... I confused. Hey, Pee-Pee, you know what's gonna happen soon? Ugh, my mouth tastes so nasty from the bean. Yes, 100 push-ups. And your birthday. I should be training more. I should be doing. Oh yeah, I need to get the Pokeballs. I should be training for my push-ups. Alright, let's get some Pokeballs. Not that many. Let's get 5 Pokeballs. That should be enough. I say that should be enough like I know, but I'm hoping it's enough. Alright, let's see what we get in Arcane Hills, baby. Arcane Hills. A Carablast. Okay. That's something. Wait, is he gonna have a bug move that's gonna kill me? Leer. We'll go with Tackle. Tackle did some damage. I'm thinking the Rap's not gonna kill him. Let's just go for some Pokeballs. Yes, what you said? Archery? That's sick. We have a field trip on Thursday. Hey, where are you going? Oh! Look how much Peck did. This better catch her. Or we gotta run away. Come on. Bro, come on. One more Pokeball. One more Pokeball. Oh my god. Stop it! Alright, let's use our potion. Why'd they check your balls? The hell? That doesn't make sense. Stop leering me, Jesus. He's gonna one-hit KO me at this point. Bro. You know what? F you. F you, Carablast. Freaking fascist. You don't want to get caught? You don't get caught, okay? Let's go here. Wait. Salanto Path. What are we gonna get? Oh, I didn't mean to jump over that. Please give me Mareep. Please give me Mareep. Please give me Mareep. Oh, a Luxray. Yes. A non... Luxrays are so cool. I love Luxray. That was the... I used that in, the first time I played that... What is it? Diamond Pearl? Please don't kill... we're gonna Wrap. You're only a level 2. I think Wrap is okay. Because it'll slowly take down his life. Not right away, so... Oh! I was getting so excited. Alright, let's go with one more Pokeball. Damn it! Alright, we're gonna Wrap again. We're gonna Wrap one more time. Come on, you're yellow, you're level 2! Oh, come on, it's a Pokeball! What school do... It is for a test for archery. Checking your balls? That doesn't make sense. Do you usually not wash your hair, Mac? Come on! Only 3 Pokeballs. Yes. Bro, this is BS. Alright, I'm gonna have to Wrap again. Oh, this has to... He has to be caught. He has to be caught here. Come on, Luxray. Join our team. Yes. 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 Yes! Let's go. Oh, what do we name Luxray? Ooh, and Snake goes up a level. Name it Lil Luxio. Oh, that's so clever. Lil Luxio. How about just how about Luxio? Kenshionezu songs, non-DMCA? Oh my god, Pog. Hell yeah, Kenshionezu, hell yeah. It is DMCA, but I do it so that the VOD, the video after the recording, doesn't have the music. Which makes it, like, really nice. So I don't have ball cancer. Oh. What does that have to do with archery, though? Luxio? Yeah, let's go with Luxio. Luxio sounds cool. And it's like Lil Luxio. Let me think. Lil Luxio. Yeah, Luxio sounds cool. And you know, it's still a homage to Lux. Hey, Cortez, what's up? Yo, let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna lower points for Let's Go also, since I can't go full screen to do it anymore. But you know what? Let's go. How you doing, Cortez? You just had dinner now playing COD? Nice. Zombies? I know you've been into zombies lately, right? Huh? Grace! Thank you for the sub. I can't...
External_craze just resubscribed for 7 months.
It.
Hi.
We got the hats too back. I know you love the hats. They're about to fall off my head. How you doing, bro? I know you know kinda see me say. The Pokemons is doing well. I mean, we just started. Well, it's not doing well. Last time we had to reset, so this is our... We reset 2 times now, but it's still doing good. Thank you. Is that attitude? Thank you for the... Wait. Okay. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for What's up, Grace? Oh, that was actually very nice. Oh my god, it's so hard to move my head. Jesus Christ. Why is the music not playing? Oh. Song quest. Oh, the video is age restricted. Whatever Nathan put. What the heck? Why is it age? I'm sorry, Nathan. We can't play that song. It doesn't let me play it. Gomen nasai. I apologize. Jesus Christ. Are you going to the reality store on Thursday, Cor? I need to start watching more. My points are looking kind of low. True. Ah! But anyway. Have you been playing any games? Luxio. Have you been playing? Not. We're naming him Luxio. Have you been playing any cool games, Grace? I'm going to my real account? Okay, cool. Very nice. Yo, it's so hard to move my freaking head. This is real, mate. Hey, I like that you better. Because I got used to seeing Call of Duty Sutfu. And I have more memories with, like, you know, Friday Night Funkin', right? That's how we met, so. I prefer that version. Personally. But yeah, this is the first day of the month, so you could catch up. This month's gonna be pretty cool, actually. I'm stupid. I should have mentioned it in the announcement. Well, actually, I did mention one thing. We're gonna have the 24-hour stream. Oh no, it's not this month. December or January, Arceus comes out. So the next Pokemon game comes out as well. Oh, I wish we had a Mareep, but you know, let's level up our guys a bit here. Does he have any moves? He just has... Ooh! He's naughty! Naughty boy! He has good attack. Not that good, but you know, it is what it is. A Venonat. Ooh, a Braixen! Look at these Pokemon! That would be sexy. I mean, I'm not complaining. I freaking love... I love Luxio. So I'm not complaining. We'll just go with the Vine Whip here and Vine Whip. I want him to grow up a little. He's too low level. Yeah. But it's No Nut November. Oh yeah, it is. Wait, I think I already broke No Nut November. Because, because last night, after midnight, I think I nutted, so. Anyway. Me too. Okay. TMI, bro. TMI. TMI, unless you're of age. Then it's like a cool story. I know you're horny. I'm not horny. I'm just excited. Luxray's mad sexy, bro. Yes, he's level 4. We'll get him to level 5, and then we'll push the rival. I just don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose any... can you let me leave? Let me leave. Let us leave. Haha, you get it? Let us leave. Like Avatar. Jesus, I couldn't say the word. Alright. Come on, get to level 5, baby. Let's go! I am too. You two are acting horny. I'm not acting horny. But I'm mainly horny? Yeah. Listen, I'm just telling the truth. I'm telling you guys what I feel. Damn, look at him. He has... I love when you fast forward and you see they just have like ADHD or something. Like, look at the character next to me. She's just spazzing out. I mean, it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. Alright, let's buy 7 Pokeballs. Always gotta buy like 3 antidotes. What? Oh, we already have 5 potions. What's annoying, guys? Me, besides me. Paralyzed. Getting paralyzed is annoying, so we'll buy one of those. Alright, let's verse our sub. Oh yeah, what does Scorbunny die to? I don't know. I was just Vine Whip. Okay, Vine Whip does not kill you. Just gonna... yep. Don't poison me, you fascist. How did I lose? Because you suck. Oh my god, let's not die. Okay, he has 17 health. We should be fine. 14, 13, 12. Okay, good. You are mainly horny, PP. I'm not horny, I'm happy. Once I get Rock Smash, I could smash. I mean, I could get more access to stuff. Ooh, new Pokemon. You know what's also cool? New background. New background. Wait, I lost Stinga. We were playing in the tangle. Blah boo boo. Shibuba, please help me find him. You like that background? It doesn't really match the cave, but we're gonna pretend it does, okay? Alright. New Pokemon, new Pokemon! Ooh, a Haluchacha! Oh, that's cool! That's a very cool Pokemon. Don't kill him. Oh, he detected. Okay. Alright, let's go for the Pokeball. This run's looking good. We actually have decent Pokemon. Come on. Oh my god. Come on. Let's go. What are we nicknaming her? I just realized it's a girl. What area is this called? Arcane Tunnel, right? Yeah, Arcane Tunnel. What is you looking at a special ed kid and he starts chasing you? What is he looking at? What would I do if a special ed kid looked at me and started chasing me? Well, since it's a kid, I probably wouldn't be too scared, to be honest. So, I would probably just chill out. I would be like, yo, what's up, bro? Alright, let's name her... We're gonna name her Gorl. Because that's what she is. She's a Gorl. What a cool name. Driftbloom. Oh, that would be perfect. You almost make me lose in twice? What? Lose what twice? Oh. This is a interesting video. Nice video. It's a nice video. Anyway, I guess I'll watch that later. I mean, what? No Nut November? No. You know what? For No Nut November, what the best thing to do is? The best thing is to exercise. Whenever you're feeling very happy, you know? If you know what I mean? You just exercise. You do some push-ups, and I'm telling you, that feeling goes away. Alright, let's see what Gorl has. Gorl has Detect, Tackle, and Hone Claws. Gorl also has Bold Nature. Ooh la la. I don't know if that's useful for probably not, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, I forgot to put the Pokemon. You guys don't remind me. Alright, let me put the Pokemon. Obviously, those aren't the Pokemon, but we got Servalalala. What's his name? Servalalala, right? His name is Superior, because he's superior. Then we got Luxio. Oopsies. We got Luxray. You know what I spend like hours doing today? Guys? You guys are gonna be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Okay? I literally spend like an hour and a half saving the PNG of every single Pokemon in existence. For now, like as of now. Just so I could do this faster and not waste more time to bring quality content to you guys. Aren't I just like the most amazing Stodima ever? Well, let's make him flip. Whatever. He's not gonna flip. The only problem is I can't control how big they are. So I still spend time on how big they are. You feeling happy when you hit it? Yeah, when I hit my mom in the face. Wait, what? Hey, look at that. It's pretty hot, if I don't say so myself. What? Okay, time for the hats to go off. Jesus Christ. That was insanely annoying. Ugh. But you got half an hour of those hats, so it's okay. What color is her door? When you're feeling happy, you hit it. Purple. I don't know what color her door is. I didn't pay attention. You hit a jewel? Oh, I don't do a jewel. I can't feel pain. Pokemon is boring in my opinion. That's why we do Nuzlocks. That's why this is a Nuzlocke, okay? Alright? Look at the rules, okay? This is how to make Pokemon more exciting and difficult. Alright, let's verse the Whammon. Imagine we got Swellow instead. Oh, before we do that, let's change Goral to get some XP. Goral is gonna tackle. Yeah, that wasn't very useful. Let's go to Luxio. And we're gonna tackle. We're just gonna tackle. And then we're gonna tackle. Now against the Lanoon, we'll go back to Goral. And we'll go back to Snake. Is that a shiny Lanoon? Why does it look so weird? And yeah. Goral is level... Ooh, learns Karate Chop. Let's go. That's pretty good. I got a netball too. Still boring? Well, you're boring. Just kidding, you're not boring. No, it isn't. It's cool. We were doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, made it harder, but... Imagine simping for her. Oh my god. You gotta send me these videos on Discord, bro. I'm just joking. There's a special website for that stuff. No, you? Wow, Gotti. No, you! What? Okay, I have to find out what Goral dies to, okay? I was about to look up Goral weaknesses, but that's kind of sus, and that doesn't really make sense. Halucha weakness. Because he's a flying... What is he? A flying fighting? He is a flying fighting. We're gonna guess to do some math. Electric kills him. Wait, flying kills him? That's so weird. But okay. Flying, ice, psychic. Jesus Christ. He dies to everything. Fairy, and electric. Come on, Halucha. He's like a Mexican bird. Really cool. Anyway. Yeah, imagine. Well, you could send vids, and once a week we're going to be doing reaction vids. Other than that, we have some community games and mostly Pokemon going on. But yeah. I'm getting this on my new TikTok account, and this is sus. You gotta stop looking it up, excuse me. And then it'll stop popping up. Karate chop! Tackle! No, don't kill him. Oh. Wait, I thought Psychic kills Goral. Did I read that wrong? I thought Goral dies to Psychic. That did, like, nothing to me. What the heck? That was weird. That was very weird. Ooh, a Leafeon. Oh, that's so sexy, but we can't catch it. Are you being racist to my kind? How am I being racist? I'm saying that it's cool. He looks cool, I'm saying. Look, does he not look like he's going to a Mexican parade or something? I don't know. It looks very festive. And Mexican people have very festive culture. So if anything, I'm saying that your people are cool. Okay? Whatever, man. Whatever. I don't think grass kills us. We're gonna karate chop here. Yeah, we're just gonna... we're gonna karate chop, and then we're gonna... Stop hitting me, Subtile. Let's go, Goral. Goral is owning, baby. Let's go. TikTok. What's this next TikTok? It's like... Who are you looking at? Oh, he's just standing there. Alright, let's verse this guy. Ooh, an Infernape would be so sexy to have, but you know. Okay, this guy fights. So we're just gonna tackle, and we're just gonna tackle. Wait, what Pokemon was next? I didn't pay attention. An Electrike. We just tackle it to death. This is a ROM hack too, Angel. So this is a completely new Pokemon game. Like, that's not one of the main ones. So that makes it even cooler. So, yeah. Okay. Alright, let's go up this ladder. I think we could get a free Clefable also. Litwick would have been sexy to have, but, you know, we don't have it. Oh, Snorlax would have been sick. There's so many random Pokemon. I'm gonna try to make you fall. And try to make me fall. What does that mean? Oh, for Angels. No, not November. I can't care less right now. Wait, I want to see this. Oh. I mean, what? Oh, let's just continue. Okay, we could catch this. Pew, pew, pew. It's a Clefairy. We're gonna tackle it. And it made me confused. Sticky Web. We're gonna tackle it again, and now we're just gonna go for a Pokeball. Come on, Clefairy. Come on, you know you want to be on the team. Yes. Let's go. Yo, we already filled up most of the team. That's sexy. Let's give her a nickname. Your name's gonna be Fairy because that's your name. Ooh. You know what would be cool? If you guys put the names you would want to name in like a list, and then from that I pick that list, and then like, yeah, that's the Pokemon. Did that make any sense? Ooh, a Mismagademodus. These are some cool Pokemon. Alright, let's go up here. A Swadloon. Always looking mad Pokemon. Alright, here we're gonna change Fairy in. Just so we could get some damage in. I don't know what Inkay... Okay, Inkay's dead. A Groudon? Okay, Vine Whip should... Vine Whip kills it. Jesus, why do I have a Groudon? Balls is my fit for... Why? Why don't you just name it an actual name? No, I'll put it on Discord if anything. I probably shouldn't put him first. Or her. Madarukai boku ni dekiru koto wa mada arukai. Let's go with Fairy here. Snake is like freaking owning, but it's nice to actually have a team. Like, we caught everyone. That never happens when we do this. We always suck. Wait, is he a shiny? They come out so interestingly in this game. Balls. I guess balls would be fine. But yeah, I would make a list based off recommendations on Discord. Hey, background change. This is my hometown. Fernando. Alright, we're just gonna heal up. So here we have access to some cool stuff. One of the cool stuff is Saros Path, which is another Pokemon. So let's see what we're gonna catch. Come on. Let's see what we're getting. A Magnemite. Okay. We already have an Electric Boy, but in case he dies, we'll catch you. And we'll name you Balls. Hey, first try. We'll name you Balls. At least Balls makes sense here. He'll evolve into Balls, so that works out. Don't need to use him for now though. Let's go buy some more Pokeballs. I think we could even get a Great Ball as well, but hey, what's out? What's out? What's up? All right. We could get another Pokemon in Arrows Road. So let's do that. A Shieldon. Okay. That's okay, I guess. Let's Karate Chop you. And I killed you. Well, Shieldon is dead. Oopsies. Now we can't. That's fine. It's not a crazy Pokemon. I don't feel too crazy. I mean, we have a pretty big team now. We have to add Fairy and Balls to the team. So let me do that real quick. And that's Clefable. I always get confused with their names. It's this one, right? This big girl. Big boy, big girl. That's good. And then number 5 is Balls. And there we got Balls, baby. This is cool. Our team's looking pretty ferocious, which is pretty sexy. Cause that's how people usually talk, I guess. I don't know. No way. Hell yeah, we got Balls on the team. Why making that face? You wanted Balls. You're so confusing. Alright, let's get 4 Balls. Speaking of Balls. I don't think we have much access here. We could train. So we could teach up. A train our guy. Ooh, she learns Wing Attack? What the hell? That's awesome. Let's take out Tackle. Detect doesn't feel too helpful, but we could keep it on. We won't really train Balls, but we could train Fairy. Let's go Double Slap. Oh, we could just... Oh, there's a good Pokemon to train against. It has nothing. We'll just keep double... Okay, can you let me kill you? Can you let me kill you? Can you let me kill you? Die. Okay, there we go. Only took 5 hours. Ooh, Pancham is such a cool looking Pokemon. You're in an internal pain? Why? What happened? Because Balls? Double slap. Double slap. Let me double slap you. Ugh, he made me in love with him. There we go. Ooh, he wants to learn Sing. So Sing has 55% accuracy, which isn't that good. I feel like Yawn is kind of better. Sweet Kiss is possibly better. Metronome's obviously just random. User cries out, this never misses. Wait, what the hell? Why am I using Double Slap? Let me use Charming Cry instead. Let's run away first. Yeah, all our Pokemon are pretty high levels now. You were in a Discord call for 3 hours? What were you talking about? Don't tell me call. You didn't do it, right? He nutted? No, I don't think he did. Why are we talking about this? It's kind of cool how we have something to counter Dragon already. I think that's cool. Let's change into Goral. I think Goral can Wing Attack. Let's go! What was the Pokemon? Gastrodon? Oh, okay. Nope. He's missing way too much. He got confused and was way too much. The nice thing is we got some training in, so we could actually buy... What can we buy? We could buy potions now. I don't want to buy... Oh, I don't... What? I suck. I don't have enough money. Okay. That's fine. Let me escape. We'll just verse her. What's your name? Ooh, Greninja. That's just a cool Pokemon. Hey. Our Pokemon are going up. We haven't trained our boy Luxio in a while, though. I was shanked in a store? Jesus. No, you weren't. That seems crazy.
Pikachu used Thunder Wave. Nidoran Poison Sting.
I think Pikachu will win, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think the first gym doesn't have crazy level Pokemon. Ooh, I don't know how I remember. Maybe because it was less than a week ago. But the first gym's highest level Pokemon's level 11. So we should be okay. Dragging these nuts in your mouth. Oh, God. Sony. I think this guy has higher level Pokemon. Okay, barely higher. We should be good here. Nincada. Technically, we should have changed here, but might as well get Luxio a bit higher. Look at this. With that, we do get experience share soon, which I don't remember if we got it already. I don't think we have it yet, but that's gonna be useful. Dragging these nuts on your face. What if I like it? I mean, what? I don't think she gives... Oh, she fights you. I didn't even realize that. Goodbye. Alright, let's verse... Oh, she doesn't verse you? Oh, what a loser. Ooh, Avalanche. It's a cool Pokemon. Let's just run away. Ice kills him, so... Because he's a stupid flying boy. Yes, a man was stealing PS4 and had a knife in his hand and was running, so he ran into me and got me. That's why I didn't join at all last few days. Jesus. Wait, are you serious? Are you okay? God. Did you get injured? That sounds terrible. You say like nothing happened. Let me just get this in. Magnemite. I want to make sure I have all of their typings in. I think Luxray is just a normal, right? Let's see. Luxray. Luxray's typing is electric. Yeah, I mean just electric, I mean. Not just normal. Luxray has insane attack. Look at that attack. That's pretty awesome. Then we have Clefairy, I think it was. Yeah. Clefairy is... I guess Clefairy would be considered a fairy in this... Which means poison and steel will kill it. Poison and steel. Poison and steel kills fairy. I have to start remembering that. Okay, you poison a fairy, it dies, and steel, I guess, for some reason. And then Superior... I don't remember. Superior is superior and dies to a lot. Look at that. That's not superior. Dies to fire, ice, poison. Oh, he's just grass. Grass dies to all that stuff. Isn't grass sucky? Look at that. It literally dies to 5 types. That's so sad. It is what it is, though, I guess. Call where you were when this happened. He got me in the kidney, but it didn't really hurt. It just stung a bit. Jesus. Are you okay? You went to the hospital, or is everything okay? Oh my god. Why do you keep sending these videos, Nathan? I mean, I know why, but, Jesus. You're gonna make me end stream early for, you know, for a reason. No, I'm just joking. Alright, let's go to the gym. It's gym time. It's freaking gym time, baby. I'm getting excited because I have a button for the gym background. Alright, let's verse her. A Garchomp? Are you serious? It's kind of high level, too. Garchomp is just dragon, so it'll die to Fairy Ice Dragon. Fairy will be fine here. This is literally the perfect thing ever. Like, the Fairy is made to go up against that. It's learning Double Slap again. Yeah, I don't want it. Spritzy. I think Spritzy might be a Fairy type. And it made me confused. Or like a Bug Grass type guy. Let's change into Luxio. And just go for a tackle. Articuno? What are these Pokemon? I'm at home right now. It's like getting punched in the face, but with some spiked brass knuckles. Jesus. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're doing better. Obviously, you're watching, so you're doing better, but... Yeah. And it's cool that you didn't, like... It just kind of happened type of thing. Like, you're not taking it, like... Like, it seems like you're taking it very well, which is good, you know? Because I wouldn't take that well. That just sounds terrible. So he dies from fire, electric, steel. Fire, electric, steel. I think we're just gonna have to go with Snake and hope... Oh, Jesus, I'm an idiot. Why'd I verse an Articuno with a grass-type Pokemon? Luxio... Oh, he has Gust. Oh, he had Powder Snow, too. Powder Snow is so dangerous. That could have been terrible. We could have actually died there. Let's go heal. We could have lost our starter. So are you off of school for a few days or something now because of that? Alright. This gym's actually kind of cool. A Rayquaza. What the? What is this? A Rayquaza? Alright, he's not gonna have any I mean, we could go into Fairy. Yeah, he had Twister. Like, this is perfect against so many legendaries. I freaking love you, Fairy. And a Groudon. Oh my god. What is with this? Thankfully, we just have really good types for everything. What does Growth do? I always forget what Growth does. Let's see if Growth is worth it. Superior. What I want to see is basically... Okay, so his special attack and attack is essentially the same. So Growth might be actually worth it. Tackle does more than Vine Whip. I kind of want to take out Wrap. Wrap is just kind of poo-poo. It's nice for catching Pokemon, though, so we'll take out Leer for Growth here. I don't feel anything, though, on my left side in a small space. I still go, but I don't mind. Jesus. Well, I guess, like, if you're back home, then, you know, everything's good now, but... Damn, I hope you feel better soon. It's not as bad as you think. Still sounds sucky. You know? Is this a new... Oh my god, I'm so confused. I think this is the way. The way. What is the way? Oh, we have to go down. Yeah, there we go. Nah. Oh, but everything is legendary. Literally what? It's literally every single Pokemon we go up against is legendary. What the hell? This one's a bit tricky too because he's gonna have thunder moves, I think. Jesus, his special attack is insane. All right, we gotta be careful here. Let's go to browser. Let's see what moves he could learn. He has Astonish. He probably has Thunder Shock. Which means going into Luxio is probably the smartest decision here. I think we'll go into Luxio. Yeah, he used Astonish, and we'll just tackle him. Oh, a Golett. Finally, a different Pokemon. He's Steel. I should have thought more about it, but he's dead. Oh, what the heck? Do I even want a Verser? Okay, finally. Someone with a normal Pokemon. A Granbull. Granbull will go down to Snake. I think this is super... Oh, it's not super effective. The heck? That's Growth here. Wait, Growth increases attack and special attack? Jesus, it's really good. I did skip school, though, for some days. That makes sense. Not horny. You finally sent something that's not horny. There's... I don't want to verse the guy yet. We have to heal up. So we gotta go up. And then to the side. And then down. Hey, I'm a genius. We haven't lost in... Well, I'm not gonna jinx it, but things are looking good right now. You know, he could have gotten me twice, but he just dropped it on the ground and left. Yeah, I think most people don't want to stab people, especially innocent people and kids. So that would have been crazy if he did do something. Alright, what is this? Microwaving a trapped spirit. Jesus! That is... What the hell? What did they microwave? A controller? Or a remote controller? I guess it is Halloween. I should have done something special for Halloween, I guess. But, yeah, I'm not that creative. I already dress up sometimes, regardless of if it's Halloween, so... Hey, there we go. Time for the gym battle, baby. We're gonna keep Fairy in the front just for any crazy Pokemon. Sceptile. Okay. We have... Huh. Sceptile. We'll change to Goral and use Wing Attack here. Oh, that's... That's his highest level Pokemon. Yeah. Oh, he's trying to learn Roost. Roost increases HP. We'll take out Detect. Furfro. Furfro is a normal type, so fighting kills it. This might be dumb, but I think Karate Chop. Karate Chop. Let's just Karate Chop. Let's go, baby! We owns the first gym leader. Oh, there's another Pokemon. I didn't realize he has a third Pokemon. And they did close the store. It's a Nokia. Oh, it's a Nokia phone? I've never seen that video. But that's CGI. Was it? I don't know. I feel like that could happen. Whoa. What the hell? This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, it's a Russian Frukti. That's of course it's a Russian video. Oh, his highest level Pokemon is level 13. I'm an idiot, not level 11. Supersonic. Hit your Vine Whip. Come on, Snake, you're a snake. Stupid snake. Hit your Vine Whip, you're a snake. Oh my god, bro. Hit it! You're a snake! Let's go! Get out of here, Fernando. He's such a loser, though. He runs away. Alright. Yes. So we'll go save him. Why do I have to save a little kid, bro? I mean, it's okay, I guess. Video of the fruits made Lucen Gen. Oh my god. Just if you do that, just don't do it while watching stream, okay? Rhoda. You were almost tased? The guy had Stormtrooper aim? Oh. Jesus. That sounds terrible. Hopefully they have it on camera and they could catch the guy, you know? Alright. Let's go get the heck? I'm gonna save the game because it wasn't letting me press A for a second. Let me press A. What the heck? The game glitched. It doesn't let me get it. Too late for that, PP. Wait, what do you mean too late for that? You're already jerking off on stream? Oh my god. Why doesn't it let me press A? It doesn't let me pick up the item. Whatever. Aurora. Hey, new area, new Pokemon, baby. What will we get? Ooh, a Clang. I don't want you. Actually, what does Clang evolve into? I mean, I know he evolves into Clang or something. Or that is his evolution. Yeah, he literally evolves into Kling. I mean, we already have Magnemite, so I don't feel like we need him. We can't escape. Are you kidding me? Oh, Steel is super effective on Fairy also, so we gotta be careful. Let's put them in order. Let's first some guys. Charming Kiss. Just let me Charming Kiss you. Why they gotta... Stupid! Let's go! We don't need no defense curl. Alright, let's... They did one in the baby place in the store and just cried there a bit. It's close to hitting me, but lucky me. They did... He went in the baby place and just cried there a bit. Jesus. Sounds like that guy has a lot of problems. Nothing wrong with problems, I guess. Emboar would have been amazing to catch. There is something wrong with hitting a kid, though. This song is low. Alright, we should be... Look at this. All our Pokemon are actually, like, pretty good. Quick Ball. Hey, I could finally pick up a ball. A Herdier. Herdiers are cool. Let's verse this guy. Get as much training in as we can. And we change out. Oh my god. It kept poison stinging. Why would you do that, bro? We need a new move on Luxio. All he has is tackle. An Entei? Jesus. That would have been sexy to try to catch. Okay, he gives me the badge. What a loser. Hey, we get cut. Do I want to teach cut? No. Do I have to? Yes. Oh, I forgot it's bug in this game, which is very weird, but might be useful. I mean, I don't know who to teach it to. It has 60 attack. We could only teach it to 2 guys here. I guess getting rid of tackle is fine. I would get rid of wrap, but that still might be useful in the future. So we got cut in here. I stayed at my friend's house and I went to his sister's room, and his sister locked the door and put me on the bed and gave me the Glizzgobler 3000. Yeah, I figured you made that up. You made up the Glizzgobler 3000, but everything else is real, right? Not the stab story. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. She's still in my way. I wonder where this goes in the map. Oh wait, this is where I have to go later. Never mind. What do we have access to now that we have cut? I think we could go back old. Oh no, we can't. We need Rock Smash for that. We could go here and find the secret entrance, and then they go. And then you just go out. Yeah, this is Arcane Tunnel, so that doesn't count. I think now we have now we have access to this. Oh, a Chimchar would be so sexy to have. I hope I didn't go to a different area by accident. Ooh, a Pachirisu is just a cool looking Pokemon. A Durant. Something is special about Durant. I don't know what it is. Oh, Blissey? We could go straight for the Karate Chop. Let's go. That actually worked. He learned Spark! Oh my god, look at that timing! This is perfect. Hell yeah. I think this is like an amazing run. Alright. This is still the same route, it looks like. And this should be a new route. This is still not a new route, huh? Let's not verse that. Double battle. Jesus Christ! Why is it Giratina here? They're giving us a lot of legendaries to go up against. It dies by Ghost, Dark, Dragon, Fairy. This might actually be perfect. We could Spark the Huntail and Charming Cry the Giratina. I almost killed him when he stabbed me because I almost hit my head on a metal frame, but I fell on the floor. Jesus. Yeah, there's so many ways you could get concussions in life. It's very scary. Oh, my dog is by my door. Use Dragon Breath. No! Oh, okay. I thought that was going to do more damage. That wasn't as scary as I thought it would be. Hey, he got paralyzed. Let's go. He's dead. Thank God he was only level 9. See, going up against one dragon move is bad in the beginning. Dog cam? Again, I would love to do dog cam, but I would literally need to get another webcam. I think I have another webcam. You know what? Yeah, maybe we'll do dog cam. We'll see. We'll see if I can get it set up for next stream. Or maybe not next stream, but soon. Hey, Caspi. He's a good boy. He's just chilling on my bed. He's literally like behind the monitor, so I can't really put dog cam right now. Yeah, I can't show him. I've sent, if you want, message me on Discord, on the Discord server, or like privately or whatever, and I'll show you a picture of him. But right now he's gonna get mad at me if I try to move him. Hey, level 16. Jesus Christ. Let's get our other guys up a few levels. Hey, Gordle is a bit scary because it dies to so much. But let's see. It doesn't die. Oh, it does die to Fairy. So we'll just have to be a little bit careful here, and we're fine. Infernape. Doesn't die to fire, thankfully. I'll just wing attack it to death. Hey, that was a lot of XP. Wing attack should be good here. Another wing attack, and a last wing attack. Have you been hit in the head with a Spirit Cranberry? No, I haven't. Didn't you talk about Spirit Cranberry before? We got Taunt. Not really a good... Wait, this is Eros Road. Did we... Oh yeah, we tried to catch a Pokemon here. Alright, so this is not a new area. I think there's a new item here, though. Hey, a berry. That's very good. Ha ha ha. I don't think we have anything here. Nothing there. I'm trying to remember what's in the city that you could get. I remember the Pokemon rise to insane levels for some reason. Maybe there's somewhere you could train first. I think she no, she doesn't verse you. Ooh, this a smoke ball. Can I not love on a scrun? Nah, you could love on it. There's nothing wrong with that. What's your favorite drink? Oh, yes. This is why I didn't buy many Pokeballs. Let's buy another Paralyze, yeah. We don't have much money. I'm surprised. I don't think we could have access to this. Yeah. Right now, we literally have to verse Team Rocket or whatever this is. They should be high level. Yeah. Oh my god. Another legendary? So, Fiona, or however you pronounce it, is just a water type. Oh, I didn't realize that. Let's just change into Luxia for a good victory there. Aerial Ace? Jeez Louise, bro. So the difference is Aerial Ace can't be avoided. So we'll just put that on right now. To be honest, Sweet Tea. Hey, Sweet Tea is... Oh, I didn't look... Oh. Sweet Tea is pretty good. That's completely understandable, I think. Alright, we gotta get our starter up. Let's see. Another Zigzag. T? What is this? No Nut November. What? Oh. No Nut November indeed. Why you keep reminding him, bro? It's messed up. Let's verse this guy. Ooh, this is like the worst matchup possible. Let's go with Sink. Put him to sleep, and then Metronome. Oh, Shadow Claw, but it missed. Sludge Wave. Hey, Metronome is such a cool move. Okay, Smeargle will go back into Snake. Smeargle doesn't really have a move, so just defeat him like that. Let's go back to heal up. I remember this was so easy when we were doing this with, like, it feels like an actual game now, because we don't have a legendary to just carry us, which I kind of like, because our team's kind of cool. It's Fine Whip, I guess. I kind of want to change into Fairy. It doesn't have poison, or... Let's see how much... Oh my god. This guy's so annoying. He keeps going up with his stuff. Leaf Tornado? Let's go. 65, I think it's safe to say we could get rid of Wrap now. Hell yeah, look at everyone leveling up. Unfortunately, Fairy took some damage. We're just gonna heal with the potion because I'm too lazy to go all the way back. Let's go. We'll sing into a charming cry. Let's just do metronome, see what happens. Hey! Metronome's always fun to play with. Bro, they have a whole religion for Sprite at McDonald's. Is that true? Okay, I don't think we have to verse anyone here. Okay, and we don't get access to anything here. Jesus!
Bruh.
Monkey
Let's
do okay.
go.
Monkey do pretty okay. I guess.
Jesus Christ!
Monkey do bad. Monkey do
Monkey
very
do
bad.
good. Monkey
What's
do
up,
very
Diego?
good.
You do finally catch a stream. How are ya? I hydrated. Oh, I got a pee-pee now.
Goodbye.
Oh, I'm stretch.
See you next time.
Oh, it's a good stretch. You're good? Hell yeah. Yeah, I just added all. You've been exercising, nice. And how's your dieting going? You know, I weigh the most I ever weighed in life. 181 pounds. Oh, that was regular stretch. Oh my god, I gotta pee, bro. I gotta pee.
Thanks for the follow.
Hat. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it.
Zygacat is now following.
It's a cool name. Tell him my story. Yeah, Angel here got hit by got stabbed by someone who was trying to steal a PlayStation 5. But he's good. He's goodish now. It's pretty crazy stuff. I started eating a lot of salad, which I never thought I would say. That's awesome, man. I started actually watching what I eat also. I'm like, because every time after I stream, hey, doctor. Welcome, Zygacat. Thanks for saying hello. Oh, PS4, not a 5? Oh my god. That's even crazier. Why would you steal a PS4? How you doing, doctor? Or I guess, see you, doctor, but welcome also. Yeah. I've been trying to eat healthy as well lately. I forgot what I was supposed... Oh, Herschel helps us, so we have to go back. And I pressed B, so I have to go back myself, maybe? Hey, that's a cool Pokemon. We need a fire Pokemon or something. I mean, we do have Aerial Ace, so that's fine. I don't think we need Follow Me. The user draws attention to itself. Yeah, we're not doing double battles or anything. Voltorb. Changed into Snake. I don't want... Watch him have I hate when they have self-destruct or something. Is this a new Nuzlocke? It's Pokemon Gaia. So we were doing it last week. So it's the same one as last week. We have to reset. So this is our reset. I think I was also trying to get some Kit Kat. Damn. I liked some Kit Kat. Doing a Nuzlocke here as well. Oh, cool. Unsure if I should learn a move or not. I'm pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you as well. What Nuzlocke are you doing? And what move you thinking about? I just realized this is the other side. Too bad. Yeah, Killer died, and then it just went downhill, and we basically lost everyone. Well, kind of. We lost our other guy. What's his name? The guy with his mother's mask on. And then I was using him by accident because I didn't release him yet. And then I was like, okay, I have to reset already. This time it restarts. Oh, this is the first reset after Killer died. We started like an hour ago. Are you ready? Let's go. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. We have a pretty cool team right now. We're not using Magnemite, but we have him on the team just in case. Use cut on the Psyducks. Yo, I wish that's how it worked. Okay. Hey doctor, wasn't Landon the one with the name tag with Imagine going to hell? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Jesus, he has Nightshade? Let's just change into Snake. Oh my god, I can't. Why am I changing into Snake? Let's go with Spark. Jesus, Aerodactyl. Oh my god. Yay, we snapped out of confusion. Let's go. He's trying to learn... Yo, Luxio learns freaking amazing moves. It's awesome. I should have bought more potions, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember how many trainers are here. Genlock, starting with Leaf Green. Nice. I actually just finished a Leaf Green hardcore randomizer Nuzlocke with oh, it was so crazy. With a special rule I gave myself to not able to catch any Pokemon. I'm actually editing that YouTube video right now. That should be pretty cool. But my Vaporeon wants to learn Acid Armor, but I'm unsure if I should learn it or not. I don't remember what Acid Armor does. Let's see. Acid Armor. Increases user's defense by 2 stages. What other moves does he have? It has 40 PP in Gen 1 to 5? Jesus. It's kind of crazy. Genlock is cool, though. That's when you do every, like, generation or something, right? Jesus, can't escape. Fairy's too slow. We'll use Goral first. Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace. Let's go. Levels up really quickly. Giraffe will have like a confusion or something. So what should we use? Guess we could use Fair. Fair needs to level up. Yeah, there's confusion. Let's go with Sync. No! I missed! Okay, we have to switch out. Confusion. We'll go with Luxio. Go with Bite. Guess I should have done that from the beginning. I'll have to teach this. Bite, Ice Beam, Surf, Water Pulse. I'll take out... Wait, Vaporeon... Wait, this is Gen 3. You said Leaf Green, right? So that means every water move is a special type move. So there's not really a point to keep Water Pulse. I'll take out Water Pulse. Aside from the making like the Pokemon confused. Like I personally wouldn't think that's enough to keep Water Pulse. I completely lost that account? Oh damn. What do you mean you lost that account? Oh, thankfully we have someone who could use Rock Smash. You mean Landon is just not around anymore? Rock Smash... Oh, I was about to say Rock Smash is better than Karate Chop maybe? But Karate Chop has high crit ratio. We could take out Hone Claws. I think Holucha is just a physical attacker. Let's see. Pokemon DB. Holucha. Let us see. Holucha is a physical attacker. Okay. Makes sense since it's fighting flying. The fighting part, at least. I like Roost, but I never really use it. It's kind of hard decision. What to take out for Rock Smash? I guess we'll take out Karate Chop. We'll get Brick Break later, probably, so. Was that Confusion? Did we just get Confusion? Oh, we got Frustration. Ew. Mexican. Diego, that's what I said. I said Mexican Pokemon. And then Call of Duty said, why would you say that? he said, stop being racist to my people. Bro, I said the same exact thing. Was gonna get rid of Bite as Vaporeon's special and Bite's physical. Yeah, but, well, I don't know what other Pokemon you have, so Bite might be good type coverage. That's the only reason I wouldn't get rid of it. Otherwise, like, Surf has enough PP, and Surf is definitely stronger than Water Pulse. If you have good enough type coverage, maybe I would keep Water Pulse and get rid of Bite, but I would probably still personally get rid of Water Pulse. Your decision, though. I had to change phones because the other one broke, so I don't know the Gmail that I had for him. What phone do you have now? iPhone 37. racist. It's not racist. It's funny. All right, let's put you first. I forgot about Roost. I should be using Roost to heal up instead of potions. But we'll use our last potion on Fairy, since Fairy's good against dragon types and legendaries. Jesus, Snake. Oh my god, there's way too many Pokemon that have crazy moves. Damn it, I didn't pay attention to what was next. Celosis. Leaf Tornado should be fine. Yeah. I declare not racist and actually the contrary. Oh, I forgot to change the background. Imagine it worked that way. As a Mexican, I approve this message. That's like getting the N-word pass. Wow, I literally put the background right when we get out. I'm such an idiot. Okay. Wait. Oh, okay. I was scared that this was high-level Pokemon, but... Shedinja. No, wait. What kills Shedinja? I know Fire does, but... I think Flying does? Yeah, Flying does. Okay, we're fine. Because if you don't have a weakness to Shedinja, you can't... I would be stuck. I'd have to reset, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Alright, we're back on Salento Pass. Let's go heal up and then push back toward Nespine. I'm okay when Diego says it, but not you. Oh, you're one of those, I see. Okay. Yeah, Diego's Mexican. There's a lot of Mexican viewers, actually. Probably... Well, actually, I don't know why. Rhydon, Raichu, Snorlax, Ninetales, Venusaur, Vaporeon. Oh, that's a very cool team. Very, like, one type. So it's easy to remember their weaknesses. Which I like, because I forget weaknesses a lot. But that's a cool... Rhydon does... But anyway, Rhydon, Raichu, Raichu is good. Snorlax is great. Ninetales is decent? I don't know. Venusaur is eh. Grass Pokemon generally just are not that good. In terms of how many weaknesses they have, but... Vaporeon I like a lot. I mean, your team looks good. Rhydon is great. That's a good team. Do you have any dark moves on anyone else? I look at type coverage a lot. Well, that's because I specifically do like randomizer Nuzlocke a lot. So I don't know if you're doing a randomizer. No, well, I'm assuming you're not. So if you're not doing a randomizer Nuzlocke, I would say you're probably fine. Because you could prep for certain Pokemon. You could take out Bite, probably. Alright, this is a new area, which means new Pokemon. Nespine Climb. Let's see what we're getting. Did I buy Great Balls? Ooh, a Mantine. We don't have a water Pokemon. This could be useful. I've never really used Mantine. Everybody, put your hands up. Angel will be like, DNL's Mexican too. Damn. Yeah, a lot of people are then. You guys think I'm Mexican. That's why you guys stick around, yeah? Hey, listen. I'm kind of a Sephardic Jew. Oh, he's a high level too. And Sephardic Jews are... well, they're not Mexican, but... Jesus, he has a wing attack? What? Why does this Pokemon have a wing attack? You don't even have wings. That's a strong move. I don't think I'll kill it. Yeah, I didn't do anything. Jesus, it's actually very strong. Let's go into Luxio. I don't want to kill it. We'll go with another bite. No, I killed it.
I have to say something. I have Ashin friend and he offered me to eat cat with him. It was good.
Did you actually eat a cat? Listen. Oh, you said you had a Chinese friend and he offered to eat cat with you? Jesus. Well, I don't like cats, so I don't really care. Now, if it was a dog, I still wouldn't really care. I eat chicken, you know? Snorlax got taught Shadow Ball. Oh, nice. That gen, it's physical, and people told me it's better for Snorlax than Vaporeon. Yeah, I guess since Snorlax... I'm guessing Snorlax has better... Let's see. Jesus, Snorlax has insane HP. I mean, I always knew that, but looking at the colors is crazy. Yeah, so Snorlax has really good physical attack. And then Vaporeon, I think, is special. Yeah, Vaporeon specializes in special. So yeah, that's why it's better on Snorlax. I look at two things when teaching moves. like physical or special, and like how it matches up for the Pokemon. Like if I'm really like looking at it. And second is the type effectiveness. So if I teach like a grass move to Vaporeon, or a fire move, if Vaporeon were able to learn a fire move and I taught it to Vaporeon, that could be potentially useful. Because if you go up a grass Pokemon, it's like super effective against the grass Pokemon. But it's also like, you don't really want to go up against the grass Pokemon with a water Pokemon, so maybe that's not good. I don't know. But I think of that stuff too. Yeah, I added the awe. You like that? It took me long, but I finally added it. I thought it wouldn't let me add it. There was a limit for 5 sound effects, free sound effects without bits. But then somehow it just let me add it. So I was like, okay, it lets me add it. That's weird, but you know, if it lets me add it, it lets me add it. Ooh, a Basculin. Basculin's a cool Pokemon. There's an item there. That's where this is going. Jesus, stop horn attacking me. Fighting? Rock smash kills. That's so weird. Let's go back to Fairy. Fairy's not doing much work. Only really has one move. Wake up! Sludge Bomb. Why do you have Sludge Bomb? Keeps making all my Pokemon fall asleep too. Okay. We gotta heal up after every battle. Yeah, I was gonna say you're a juice, but did you see Hitler? No, I didn't see Hitler. What? I'm not like 120 years old. And even if I was, why would I see Hitler? But you see, that doesn't offend me. But I mean, that's just me personally. Gonna continue to grind for the rival. Nice. What are you up to right now? Like, how many badges did you get done? Demon Slayer moment, yeah. Until someone put another song. I haven't... the new season came out, right? I haven't watched it yet. I think of Demon Slayer or of something else. Some season came out of something. I know I just had to say. Okay. I think that... Oh, this guy versus you. And then he heals you. Why'd I run back? He has a Tyranitar? Wait, Tyranitar dies to fighting? I always forget. Because he's a rock dark or something. So he might have a rock move, which might do damage. I want to change, but I also don't want to take too much damage. So we'll use Snake. Yeah, Snake with a Leaf Guard looks like it's enough. Damn, he keeps screeching. I need to kill him already. Yeah, that's good. Alright, nice. Let's put Fairy up to get some XP. Do we go from here? I kind of want to... Yes, okay. We'll get the items first. This should... Hey, there we go. Let's go. Articuno! Bro, the Pokemon they keep giving us are insane. I don't know what to use against an Articuno. I think Luxio was fine. He just sparks him. Yeah. He had Ice Shard too. Jesus, that could have been bad. Leafeon could die to Goral. We'll get Aerial Ace in there. Damn it, I didn't read that. What was that? Another Tyranitar? Let's use Sync. Alright. The reason I use Sing is so I could get Goral out and just Rock Smash. Because I know that's going to do a lot of damage. Okay. Yo, the randomized Pokemon are insane. Wait, do we have access to that? No, we don't. To that old guy here. It's pretty easy to get back to, though. Man only has 8 holes, but a woman has only 12. What? No. Man has... What? No, that's not... No. Man and woman have the same amount of holes. I think. Did you know a raccoon can fit in holes that are 4 holes? That are 4 inches? Jesus. Cockroaches, I think, could also squeeze through very small areas, which is pretty crazy. Quagsire only dies to grass, I'm pretty sure. So we'll just get a... how'd you miss? Leaf Tornado in here. Hey, level 20. Ugh, damn it. I wish I could take out... I see this plant and I was able to steal some HP. I wish I could take out Cut. His attack and special attack are the same. Leaf Tornado has less accuracy. But we'll take out Vine Whip. Zygarde, are you serious? What is this song? Ice Dragon Fairy. Let's go to Fairy. Oh my god, he barely... Oh, we got a potion. What is this song? Y'all put some weird songs sometimes. I'm gonna hit one more time and hope he doesn't crit. Oh. Ooh, we got so lucky. Imagine he healed. Bro, how many players that we verse already that have legendary Pokemon? It's insane. Okay, our Pokemon are very nicely... Ooh, Esper. Are very nice, though. What is this song? I'm kind of listening to the words, though. Hey! Let's catch Maractus, baby. Rock Smash? Hey, Giga Drain lets us hit another rock. Jesus, he just has... I crit killed him! No! Oh my god, Maractus. Teen Bops moment? I don't think it's a Teen Bops song. Is it? It's a dumb song. It's kind of hot. I mean, what? It's kind of stupid. It was a weak Pokemon. It didn't survive. Hey, but it kept ground. It kept healing itself. So I thought Rock Smash would be fine. It was the crit hit that did it. Do you like camping? No. Oh, if you say no, you fight him? I didn't realize that. I didn't fight him last time. Okay, so he's a Steel Grass, I'm guessing. Steel dice to... I think... Steel... This is a cool song. Fighting... Fire kills Steel. There's a couple of stuff that kills Steel. I just don't remember. Oh, that's actually have a printed out thing to remind me sometimes. Because I'm such a loser. Yeah, Steel dies by ground, fighting, and fire. Oh, fighting does kill it, yeah. I don't know why I wasn't sure. I should have been sure about that. So we'll just Rock Smash here. Rollout. Ooh, that could be a scary move. We'll go with Snake here. Go with Leaf Tornado. And Leech Seed. Why did I Leech Seed last? I should have Leech Seed first. That was really dumb. Alright. We could verse her. We got some Rock Smash. Encore. Nah, let's not. Another Articuno? Jesus Christ. It gives a lot of XP, though. That's the one thing that's very nice. And we do have Luxio around, so... So, it's not the worst thing. Just thought Walt Disney was a relative to Hitler. I know Walt Disney kind of was anti-Semitic, I'm pretty sure. I know that, but yeah. He would have a lot to learn when he doesn't deserve to be on the team because he's too weak. Oh, I just read that, my bad. I guess if he came back alive now, he would probably be really surprised. Because I think he went cryogenic or something. He put himself in an ice chamber in case they could revive him. So if he ever came back. If you don't like camping, then I hope you get butt by a bear. I like camping. Ooh, if I have an Abra, I could trade it for a Drowsy. I think trades are not randomized. Okay, we're going to have to verse our rival here, which is a bit scary. So because of that, we're going to train where we can here and get another Pokemon. I think this is this a new Frostbite Cave, baby? Okay, what will we get? Ooh, Soft Sand helps ground type moves, I think. What will we get? What will we get? A skunky boy. Stunky is poison, which is actually pretty cool. But not cool against fairy. You'll kill my fairy. Change into Goral.
Quietly
Thanks for the hydrate.
working.
And for the work. I appreciate it. It doesn't cause a world war. It would be like a gamble because wow, how the worlds would be right now. True. Who knows? Most of the worlds might not even be speaking English if Hitler wasn't around. Because what made the U.S. get out of the Great Depression was World War II and manufacturing. That's like one of the big things. Yeah, there's a show that looks at what would happen. Rock Smash? Let's just try to throw a Pokeball. What would happen if Germany won? It's actually pretty interesting. Top hours. Hey, first try. Let's go. We actually got a new member to the team. Stunky. We'll call Stunky Stinky. I'm gonna make a list for you guys to list for nicknames. So on Discord, you guys will tell me what nicknames you want, and then I'll just randomize, and we'll name the Pokemon based off the nicknames you guys say. Hey, we caught a Frostbite though, which is cool. This is going pretty well. Don't talk about it? Oh, okay. Diego, imagine only having 0.4. A bit cringe. I mean, it did reset today, but yeah. Cringe. I was at the world border for a field trip, and they said this is where you jumped over to get here. The world border? What's the world border? What does that even mean? Bussy and Thrusty. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's actually pretty cool, because I think we get the thing soon. The thing. We get the thing soon. So let's get Stinky in here. We get experience share soon, so we could actually train Stinky up. I kind of like Stunky. Stunky. Not when he's that big, but because it's I think it's just a poison type, and poison is an interesting type. Not really too many good Pokemon that are poison, but we'll keep him around for now. Let me just double check. Oh, he's a poison dark. Interesting. He has poison gas. That could be annoyingly interesting. He's pretty high level too. We might want to put him. We'll put him second. We won't put him first. So what does he die to? Stunky. What is this song?
It's gonna be super fun.
He only dies to ground? Wow, that is so cool. That's actually such a cool typing. Poison and dark only dies to ground. And Skuntank has decent-ish stats. That could be pretty useful. Oh, you guys didn't see what I was looking at, but whatever. Bussy and Thrusty. Flat Earther moment? Ah. It's a wall for Mexico and US, so they stay separated? Ah. Hey, I didn't jump over it. I was born here. Alright, let's verse this guy. He has a Turtoga. Damn. That's a cool Pokemon to have. That's a pretty high level, though. Tangrowth. We'll go to Goral. Jesus. Let's use Aerial Ace. No! Poisoned? Really? We'll just go with the last air. Oh, come on. Stop it. I can't risk Goral. Let's go with... Can't be switched out? Are you serious? And I have no potions. No. Oh, no, I have a potion. I should have an antidote as well. The song is mad weird. Let's go... What? What is the song? Mesprit. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's not hardcore. Mesprit is just psychic, so Bite will come in handy from Luxio here. Let's bite him again. Scorpy. Scorpy was the starter. Let's go with Snake here. Starter against starter. Jesus, he has a Pin Missile. Pin Missile is actually annoying. Because it's super effective. Yeah, I should probably stop fighting with him. Let's go with Bite. Let's go! It gives us XP share, which is very nice. Because Stinky is going to be terrible for quite some time. We're going to give this to Sticky. It's very common where I live for people to jump over illegally. I live close to the border, like a few minutes away. Oh, wow. That's cool. I know there's one town in Texas that's close to the border, and it has a lot of Hispanics, and it's like, I wanted to move there because it has, it's very safe and very cheap. So I was thinking of like legitimately moving there, and I might move there. Nah, probably not. Maybe. I don't know. Depending on how well YouTube goes and stuff. I'm in Kentucky, so I'm kind of far. Kentucky Fried Angel. Is there like Minecraft barriers at the world border? Nah, I like this song. Now you hear this song. I hear this all day. Oh, the song before? That was an interesting song. Is it Huston? No, it was McAllen. McAllen, Texas. Okay, we could verse the next gym, which is actually awesome. We're kind of breezing through. I don't want to jinx it, but we're doing pretty good right now. I still got a PP too, and I'm holding it in. It's not good. Let's put the gym background real quick. Hey. Jesus, that's some high-level Pokemon. A little bit scary. So we gotta pay attention. Electabuzz. We could keep Snake out for Electabuzz. Leaf Tornado to... Oh, still alive? There we go. Yeah, that was good. That way we don't need to do anything there. We actually didn't train that much here because we went the correct way last time, but... Huston? It says Huston. It doesn't say Houston. We got left, middle, right, middle, right. Left, middle, right, middle, right. I'm a genius. Jesus, Snake just takes out everything. That was nice. And there's nothing there. Alright. After this trainer, we might go back to heal up. Ooh, a Bear Tick. Isn't it like ice or something? We'll change to Luxio. Powder Snow is a scary move in the beginning. Icy Winds. Jesus. I'm gonna... Oh, we don't have any super potions. This is a bit scary. Sticky actually is fine to change to as well. Jesus, stop attacking him. What? Why can't I first swipes? I keep missing? Oh, but he used Bide. I got so lucky there. Alright, let's go heal up. And buy potions. Jesus Christ. Hey, welcome back, Angel. I tracked my statement. I thought that's how you spelled Houston. Oh my god, Doctor. You're so stupid. And you're legal? Oh, such a weird way of phrasing it, but... My bad. No worries, no worries. Alright, I'm gonna buy 7 more Great Balls. Let's buy like... Oops. Let's buy like 4 Super Potions. We'll keep running out of... Actually, we'll buy more. We'll buy all the Super... We have 0 money. We keep running out of money. But we've been fighting every trainer, which is interesting. Oh, I didn't pay attention. To be honest, I don't care. I'm not mean, okay? I'm realistic, okay? I'm just joshing around. Oh, that was way too much. I don't remember. Okay, right, left, middle, left. Right, left, middle, left. Right, left, middle, left. Right, left, middle, right. Huh? I got it wrong. Damn it. Right, left, middle, left. Right, middle. Oh. Right, left, middle, left, right. Hey, I got it. I'm a genius. I'm like, okay, Ping, look, this is the last chance for a deal. I'm doing 100 push-ups, man. All right. I'll take the deal, maybe. I'll take the deal. Ooh, Charming Cry is super effective here, right? Hell yeah. Let's go Sink, not to take much damage. Can you let me... Guys, I'm not hitting my Sink. Let's... Hey, the foe is in love with me. Let's go. That's why Fairy is awesome sometimes. A Flygon. I always forget what Flygon dies to. Always. Ice Fairy Dragon. Oh, okay. We'll just charm. He had Bulldoze? That's a strong move. It's good I didn't change to Luxio. We'll go to Snake here. And we'll go to Girl here. Airlace. Stop using Snake. Rock Slide. Okay. We'll go Leech Seed, because that actually helps, even if we switch out. And I'll... Jesus, that's an annoying Pokemon. This is a cool song. It looks the same to the dyslexic mind. Houston. I'm too lazy to read all that. It's okay. Houston. Well, then don't be dyslexic. Nah, I'm joking. That would be so messed up to say. If I didn't know you, I wouldn't have said that. Alright, we got right, left, right, middle, right, left, right, middle. Right, left, right, middle, right, left, right, middle. Right, left, right, middle, right... no, I messed it up. Okay. Right, left, right, middle. Right, left, right, middle. Oh, it's the same thing. Right, left, right, middle. Right, left, right, middle. I'm a genius. Alright, it's time for the battle of the century. Huh? Oh, I thought it was a double battle. Never mind, we still have a battle to do. We'll go with Luxio here. Jesus. Did a lot of damage. Sticky's level 20. Milotic. Ugh. Yes, one hit KO, baby. Let's go. Alright, let's go heal up. Since you did not take it. No, I said I'll take it. Less than the price is gonna rise to 100k points, and you do no push-ups. Deal or no deal? No deal. No deal. Raise what to 1k? He wants to raise his points to 100k, so I don't have to do 100 push-ups for his birthday. Perfect music for this battle. You going down, Arya. Arya's such a freaking cool name because of Game of Thrones. I think I might name my child Arya. Okay, we got a Steel type. Steel dies to Fighting. So we're gonna change right here to Girl. Spikes! Ooh, Jesus. The hell is this? Am I playing competitive right now? Let's use Rocksmith. I'm pretty sure Klefki is just Steel. We lowered its defense as well. Oh, it's not just Steel. Drain Kiss? What is that? Jesus! Oh my god. Okay, well, I was wrong. Klefki weakness. Maybe it's Psychic or something. It's Ground Fire? Oh, it's Fairy Steel. Jesus. It dies to Ground Fire. Two types I don't have. What is Drain Kiss? What typing is that? Drain Kiss typing. Is it a Fairy? It is Fairy. We could change it into our Fairy Pokemon. Jesus, that did a lot of damage even on our Fairy Pokemon. Change to Luxio. Oh my god. Let's just go with Spark. Ooh, Spark did a lot more than I expected. I should probably just take this time to kill it. Oh. Hey, we got him. Jesus. Torchic. Let's go with Sticky. Wait, why did I name her Sticky? I was supposed to name her Stinky. I'm so stupid. Let's go with Furry Swipes. I forgot about Spikes. I should keep that in mind. Jesus! Wait, I can't switch out, right? Yeah, because of Fire Spin. Thankfully, I could heal. 100 push-ups, yeah. It sounds like a scam. I didn't Yeah, I'm not giving points. I don't give points for someone's birthday. He told me a year ago, Doctor. Nathan told me a year ago, 100 push-ups on my birthday. And he put a quote to remind as a reminder. So I was like, oh, fine. Let's just... Jesus, that does so much damage. We missed our poison gas. Let's poison gas here. Damn it, I'm an idiot. I let him fire spin me again. Thankfully, we did hit our poison gas. We're gonna have to use super potion again. Oh, he missed. Let's just go with furry swipes. Okay, that actually... Flareon, what is this, the fire gym? We'll stick with Sticky and try to use poison gas. Hell yeah. He had Fire Fang? That's a great move. Jesus. Oh! Sticky! Alright, let's change out. Everyone is injured though, which is very scary. Okay, this only heals 50 points, so we have to hope it doesn't... Oh, he did a quick attack. Oh my god. Do we just get rid of balls here, guys? Do we just get rid of balls? Do we just sacrifice balls? Because Firefang is actually owning. I don't know how much Firefang will do on Luxio. I don't want to risk Luxio's death, so we'll change the balls here. Snake is risky. We'll take Luxio out. We don't have any super potions left either, so we'll have to put potion. Unfortunately, we had a death. Yeah, sorry, Diego. We weren't gonna use it anyway. You mean this quote? Yes, that quote. How do you remember? That's crazy. Does anyone get the joke? Wait, I missed some messages. Did you know that not having seen will make your memory better? Rather than a book of facts. Not having seen? Not having vision, like not being able to see? Oh, is the joke that you can't read it? Oh, not having sex will make your memory better. I don't know who Jay Hauer is now. Time travel. Headphones died, aw. Oh, you could hear again, okay. I don't get the joke, Angel. You may not be able to play games for a day or so when you do it. It's okay, I could use my hands to play games. I love how it shows the date. February 18th. Just had to fix it for PP. Now you fixed it, but I still don't get it. Why are you all spamming it? Oh, you changed it to 2019? Why aren't you proofreading? Listen, he's still learning English. It's okay, bro. Alright, we're gonna potion here. Please don't do too much. Okay, fire potion actually doesn't do that much. So we just hit him with a bite. Okay. Jesus, your last Pokemon was scary, Gym Leader. Gym Leader area. We get Roost, which we already have. You know, after the 8th gym, we got Earthquake on the last run and Leaf Green in the hardcore randomizer. Oh, that was crazy. I haven't had sex in a long time, so I can't remember it good. No offense, but I don't think you ever did, which is fine, bro. You're still young. Alright, we already have access to Hyper Potions, but they're expensive, so we'll buy one. We'll buy 2 Super Potions. And we look good. That looks good. Let's push Goral up first. And we're Gucci. Electric might own me, right guys? So let's change into Luxio and Bite. Jesus. Okay. Double Edge? We need a fire move already. What kill is Double Edge? I'm literally still holding in my PP. Fire, ground, ghost, dark. Oh. We should be fine with Bite here. Oh, come on. Oh, I got so scared. Ooh, Sticky's learning Scratch. Get out of here, furry swipes. Slash is actually good. Let's go heal up. Without Killer, this is hard. Oh yeah, we lost... I forgot to get rid of our boy. And to change this. Goodbye, balls. Thank you for your service. Wait. Goodbye, balls. Goodbye, balls. Thank you for being fodder. That was perfect. Hey, let's go. What was the joke again? I forgot. I hate you for that. How do you know that, PP? How do you know? Because I might not have sex last month. I just think so. Because you're pretty young, man. Mad cause 12. Elner. I remember my dead friend's name. Jesus. Okay. I mean, I would hope you would remember his name. Swamperite. Now all we need is a Swampert. Swampert would actually be pretty awesome. We don't have a water Pokemon, so. We need a water or fire. I'm 14, not 12. I didn't say you're 14, but... Yeah, 14 is still young. Yeah, balls died. Why don't you go get yourself 14 bitches? Oh, snap. Damn, Daniel? I don't know. Ooh, one Pokemon, finally. I didn't feel like looking up Barboach. I think it's like a steel something. I don't remember. Turtwig would be so sexy to have. Actually, no, we have a grass Pokemon. What am I saying? Unfortunately, we don't have Surf yet. Leftovers, let's go! Lay your hands on me. We'll give it to Fairy. Fairy feels like she gets hit a lot. And doesn't recover well. Relic Gold. A Zapdos? I don't know what Relic Gold... A Walrein. Oh my god. Walrein, bad memories. Because we lost a Pokemon to Walrein. And you remember, guys? For those of you that remember. From the first Nuzlocke. Fluffy Tail. What does that do? His name was Alexander. That's a very nice name. Use it to flee from any battle with a wild Pokemon. Oh, wow. Let's give that to girls so we could just flee if we need to. That's actually cool. Sure, why not? 14 doesn't mean that I hadn't had sex. It means you probably haven't. Have you had sex? I guess answer the question. Answer! If you'd like to. Stoutland. Stoutland should be fine against Rock Smash? Jesus. Alright, we got the bad guys here. We got Focus Sash. We keep getting really nice items. An item to be held. This would have been so useful. We'll put it on Luxio, because Luxio is only going to die to one-hit KO move. You have? What the hell? Alright, I apologize then. Sorry for assuming. Alright. Thought there was a Pokemon here. Oh no, there's a thingy here. Relic Band. Still don't know what that does. I had a friend who had a brain tumor. Jesus. If you're 14, you ain't got a license. You trying to tell me your mama gave you a right to dig approval? Well, your mom doesn't have to approve it. Some interesting conversations today. Let's see. I'm a genius. Actually, I remember it from last time. Oh, I forgot about that. The Tremors. We could verse that guy. I don't think there was anything here, and I still went there for some reason. Let's verse her, him. Oh, Hydrogen. Jesus. Dark Dragon dies 4 times to Fairy. The scary thing is a dark... Wait, Fairy dies... Oh no, Fairy dies to Poison and Steel. So, we should do... Hey, we have leftovers. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, baby. Barbroach. We'll keep you out just to get the leftovers. Then we'll change back to Goral. And Aerial Ace to death. Well, that worked out perfectly. Destiny. What's Destiny? Oh, he doesn't verse you? What the heck? Hey, verse me! What a loser. Ooh, is that a shiny? That's a sexy Pokemon. I wish there was somewhere to heal up, but it is what it is. A Golett. Golett is steel, so... Damn, Goral is actually very... useful. Does Rock Slash doesn't affect him? What the heck? I'm an idiot. Shadow Punch. Let's go with Bite. Oh, Bite is super effective against Gorlet. Okay. Let's just put a Super Potion on our Goral. I'm funny. And why did I think there was something here? There's nothing here. I had to talk to my dad. You know what happened? They did the day after. He was a good friend. That's good. It's good that your dad was able to talk to you about it. It's pretty crazy stuff, though. I didn't have sex until yesterday, so... Just kidding. But I didn't have sex for quite some time. Ooh, perfect. What? Are you kidding me? A Leaf Tornado doesn't kill a Mudkip? Victini, I think, is grass type, but we're just gonna use Cut here. Leaf Tornado? Yeah. I'm gonna use Growth. And then use Cut again. Growth is actually potentially very, very useful. Nope. Let's go. I hope you wore protection, though. Alright. Let's see what this is. Soft Sand again. We don't need another one. The only thing is when we train so many Pokemon, they're, you know, they're all kind of low levels, but... Green Shards, hey. Why'd my IQ go down? Have I got stabbed before? No. Alright. We'll see you, Doctor. Thanks for popping in, bro. Love you, man. All homo. I mean, what? Oh, that leads to nothing. I already forgot. Gai Sagashi no Machigai Oni. Revival Herb. Useless. I have not got stabbed before. Maybe I did or maybe I didn't. Okay. Wait, I can't run away? I'll just Leaf Tornado you. Psybeam. What an annoying... Ugh. Blue Shards. Alright, we have to change into the guy that lets us run away. Also, I don't remember... Do I have a potion? I don't remember if we have to verse another guy. So, I don't know if I want a potion. For now... What'd that say? What TM was that? Shadow Claw. Jeez, that's awesome. Landon probably had sex. The Sutfu guy, though, cap. True. Hey, Sticky. Perfect move. I think taking out Screech is better. Screech's accuracy is very low, and Screech could actually be useful. LGBTQ imposter. The song's so catchy, but so messed up. We have to verse her. I forgot. Oh no, I don't have to verse her yet. Let me just save. Yeah, let's heal up. Then I did, but with a man. Nothing wrong with that, bro. But I have like G's. I have like G's? What does that mean? Let's Super Potion. Let's not take any risks. Alright. Orders are orders. Smooch him. Smooch him is scaredy. Scaredy? Scary because of ice moves. We'll take out Sticky. Shadow Claw should do pretty good, yeah. Lotad. Let's go with Goral here. Just to Aerial Ace. Hell yeah, I'm a genius sometimes. Purloin. Purloin's a bit tricky. You know what? We'll keep you out here. Let's Aerial Ace you. Oh, you can't use the same move. Rock Smash. Even better. Elder Knight. Okay, fire would kill this. Rock Smash might as well? Bro, I'm so dumb. I always forget. Ghost Dark Fire. In this case, let's change into Luxio for Bite. That did some damage. Let's just Bite again. He flinched! Don't crit, don't crit. Oh my god, that was so scary. Yeah, let's just Hyper Potion. Jesus! Why'd that do so much damage? Oh, it's trying to let him roar? No, we don't need no roar. Halucha. Halucha dies to a lot. Flying, Ice, Psychic, Fairy, Electric. We'll use Fairy. Let's go with... Jesus, that did a lot of damage. Level 24? Let's go with the Goral. Jeez. Okay, let's go with Sticky. Oh my god, everyone's gonna die. Don't die. No! Sticky! Oh my god. Oh, Wing Attack will take out everyone and I have nothing else to heal. I got a Leech Seed. Don't die. Alright, let's Leaf Tornado here. No, he encored my Leech Seed. No. Oh, okay. No! I meant to change Pokemon! I didn't... I'm such an idiot. I'm such... Oh my god! There's another Pokemon? Are you serious? Alright, let's just buy it. Oh my... Zebstrika, how many Pokemon do you have? At level 26? I was not ready for this battle. Alright, I think that's a reset, guys. Freaking crazy ass levels. Wait, will you survive? Oh. That's a reset. Great. That is a reset. I just saw my teacher. What? They're all dead. They're all freaking dead. I had to train them up higher. It's because I was training too many guys up at a time. Oh. Stop putting the same songs on. What's going on? Now the recess thing is being annoying. BTQ and Duster. That's messed up, bro. You're a monster. You're a monster. I was just listening to this guy's songs on repeat. Yeah, I don't want... This is the last time, okay, Angel? I wonder if there's a thing... There's no thing to, like, stop repeats, so... I missed some messages. Taco. Oh, I didn't even see that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stream games tomorrow, mostly Mixcraft. Minecraft? Nice. That's my last time? Oh, okay. You suck, but it's good. Yeah, pretty much. The song low-key bangs, I guess. Young Nugget songs should be a bannable offense. I know, right? They're not good, bro. He doesn't even have melody in his singing. Look at that Kabuto. Alright, let's go with Punk. That GBTQ imposter. Such a catchy song. Who am I don't know what to do. I'll go. That sucks because we made it so far. But now I know they're like level 26, 27. That's really high level actually. What to do? Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? Yo, 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 I'm a schmo, I'm a bro, I'm a little bro, ho, crow, so I don't know what I'm saying, but you are a schmo. Let's see, what do we got? A Mascarin, a Girder, and a Slaking. What the hell? That's some interesting Pokemon. What would Mascarin know? Let's see. Okay. Mascarin. First of all, how good are Mascarin's stats? Kind of are poopy, kind of okay, decent looking. Mascarin has Bubble most likely. That's actually pretty good. Already has a decent watered Pokemon. Dies to quite a lot. Okay. Then we have I kind of want. I'm probably gonna choose Girder. Girder is so cool. Girder. Oh Jesus. Oh, you have to trade for Conkeldurr. His special defense and speed really suck, which make him not very viable. And he doesn't really. He'll have Rock Throw, I guess. He doesn't learn anything good. Let's see if Slaking has any moves. Oh, Slaking is so crazy though. Slaking's gonna have Hammer Arm. Possibly. Let's try going with Slaking just for fun. Let's see what happens. Arigato. I kind of hope you get butt effed by a chicken. Thanks. Why? I'm starting to not eat meat as much. Chicken from time to time. Fish. I'm trying to change up my diet a lot. And I'm trying to bring down bread and like white cheese because I eat that way too often. Tell me, what's up, Nathan? Yes, no. Michael Jackson? He does look kind of like a pedo. Yeah, let's name him Jackson. I like that. That's not why I named him Jackson. I just like the name Jackson. Let's just go with that. Or Neil Armstrong. Or MJ. Oh, MJ would have been good. Because that could be Mary Jane or Michael Jackson. Wait, is it a guy? Oh, it is a guy. Okay. Wait. What am I missing here? Oh, nothing. Ooh, we might get a Hitmontop. He has moves, right? Oh, he only has Scratch. He doesn't have Hammer. At least he has Scratch. Oh, I looked up. I'm an idiot. Hammer Arm is for the newest gen. I've gotten into something like a vape, but there's no drugs. So is it okay if I do it in public? I would say probably not. Bro, really upholding the systemic structures of cheese racism. Listen, cheese. I'm obsessed with cheese. I eat so much cheese, and I weigh the most I've ever weighed in my life. So, yeah, I can't eat cheese. I mean, from time to time, cheese is okay, but I really have to go down on the cheese. Go down on the cheese. That sounds so hot. I also like when I flood a village of innocent constructor pelters. It tastes good as hell. It's addicting, man. If it has no drugs, I would look into it. I would look online. Because, like, there's not much research into vapes and stuff, but, yeah. I have a friend who's addicted to one. I'll be right back. I gotta go, pee-pee, unfortunately. So we'll be back. Sorry. Pee-pee time. I hope no one wants to hear me pee. I mean, I hope no one heard me pee. Anyway. Wait, what? There we go. No, doesn't it? Like, a vape is like a pack of cigarettes at once, so no, not even once. I vape too. I have raspberry flavor. Why vape when you can... Vape. Why vape when you can inhale campfire smoke and have the same physiological effect? Jesus, I can't read today. True. Alright, so there was a network error, but then now it's working. Okay, good. Where are you getting this from? I have banana ice cream and watermelon strawberry flavor. Jesus. Guys, it's not good for you. Probably. But we all do stuff that's not good for us, unfortunately. I'm gonna get a boom stand for the mic because Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's all. Jesus Christ. Cilantro path. What are we gonna get? Ooh, a Hitmontop, baby. If we don't kill it. Oh, Jesus. No! Oh my god. I forgot to get the Pokeballs. I'm such an idiot. No. Now I can't catch Hitmontop. Oh my god. It's because I went to the bathroom. I'm such an idiot. Oh. Shut up, pee-pee. I said it like a bat. I want watermelon because I'm back. Oh my god. Just because I forgot to press 5 buttons. Jesus. Alright, let's see what we're getting here at least. A Carnivine. It's a nasty looking Pokemon. At least this I could catch. I guess I want you, girl. There we go. We actually caught her in one try. That was surprising. Yes, no, mo, no, Tazuni. Carnivine. Carnivine is a grass type. Eh. It looks pretty eh. It looks decent-ish. Let's see. Can you... Yeah, I mean, you learn Vine Whip at level 11. Bite. Okay. Oh no, this is an Ultra Sun. He does he has more attack than special attack. Alright. What are we naming her? Keep saying him, but it's a her. Because I'm black? Oh. I got it from my local weed shop. Wait, I thought you said you're Mexican. I got mine... Oh, you're black and Mexican? I mean, that's possible, but... I got it from my local weed shop. Jesus. I'm gonna head out for real this time. Don't do drugs, kids. True. True. Alright. See you, doctor. Thanks for popping in. I gotta play your Jump King map soon. I know you didn't finish it, but I want to try it out. I can, me both? What does that mean? Big mouth? She does have a big mouth. Let's call her Mouth. Don't do drugs, anyone. Good point. Your name is Mouth because women have a big mouth. No. Just kidding. Just kidding. Don't cancel me. That's kind of funny though. Alright, so we got Mouth and we got Big Boy. Let's put Slaking and Carnivore. Slaking and Carnivore. Slacking. Slacking and Carnivore. I sorry, nagara. There we go. There we go. Look at that sexy whammon. So you get it from ping pong. Based. Ping pong. Based? It's not based, bro. It's a joke, okay? It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's just a joke. Alright, let's train our Whammon up a bit. Name it Gizzly Gobbler. Ew. I don't like Gizzly Gobbler, okay? I just don't. A Venusaur? Why couldn't we get you instead of Mouth? Alright, let's scratch. Let's scratch. Let's scratch. All he does is loaf around, stupid big boy. My name is Gizzy Gobbler. Pretty much, Nathan. Based. Nice. Chespin. Look at these so sexy Pokemon. Instead we get Michael Jackson. Nothing wrong with Michael. Well, some stuff wrong with Michael Jackson, but the good thing. Let me escape. Oh my god. The good thing is we could technically just train up our guys like insane levels, because there is no level cap. But you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I got a Crobat. Like literally, any other Pokemon here would have been better. Let's go with Yawn. Yawn, so we could scratch. Let's go. Oh, this is actually a smart strat. Like we go into Jackson. I might go back to get chips that they have. Nice. Michael Myers. Michael Myers is a good name, I guess. Let's go. Oh my god, look, it's your brother, your sister. Scratch. Scratch. Oh, he needs Yawn, bro. He needs Yawn. Ooh, someone changed the song. Was that Michael Jackson? Wait, what? Michael Myers. You spelled Michael Myers wrong, no? Isn't it M-E-Y-E-R-S or something? Alright, let's go heal up. Stupid grass boy. Why does it sound like that? It's growth, 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 bind, bind, bind. That's a good way to train. Just growth and bind. It's Yawn. Some weird song. My friend is going to get me a Jolly Rancher flavored rape. Rape? Oh, vape. Jesus. Why'd I say that? I'm so stupid sometimes. What's going on in this video that you're sending? Bind. Bind. Bite! Yes, you learned to bite. Maybe it'll be useful in this next battle. Alright, this is not a song, bro. This is not a song. This is not a song. My apologies. But it's not a song. Oh, we have to buy stuff to heal. Because that's what I forget to do, and then we die. Oh, no, we have enough. We'll buy antidotes. Paralyze heal. Two Pokeballs. Best flavor. Jolly Ranch? Jolly Ranch is best flavor. Oh, I forgot I have Mascarin. I completely forgot about that. How much would Bite... Ooh, Bite did quite a bit. Wait, are you carrying? Good job, Mouth. I'm proud of you. Kind of cheated by catching another Pokemon, but... Kisayang Sala, Dibolos Dingen. Chunky music? What? New Pokemon, new Pokemon! New Pokemon! Huh? Bro, stupid! Bro, he's actually annoying me. Yes, let's go! What are we naming her? Da. I love this song. Da, la, da. Yo. I wonder what mouth can carry. We're gonna name you Zip Zap Clap. Actually, yeah. Let's go with Zip. Zippy. Zappy. Let's go with Zappy. Good ideas. Let's go. We got Zappy on the team, baby. We got Zappy. Now we just go here. Zip Zap Clap? Nah. I went Zappy, though. Zappy's good, no? This is a good song. I know you put a random song, but this actually sounds good, Nathan. That was the whole song. Oh, you skipped your own song? That's such a good song, though. Yeah. 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 I'm back in hack and sack. I got a lap and brap. I got a dappy brap. Of us a rap and trap. Of who? I'm a rapper. 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 Halloween. What are the Halloween songs? You're a day late. I wasn't streaming yesterday. These are catchy songs. I guess I like chunky music. Oh, Chucky. You're trying to put Chucky out there. It's actually funny. Ooh, an Ega Slash would have been so nice to have. Jesus. Let's yawn. And run away. We're not going to be able to beat that. Again? Let me run away. Let me run. Hey, Sai, what's up? How you doing? Chunky. Hell yeah, baby. Chunky. How you doing? I wish I had more Pokemon with normal moves. Normal types. Like here, an electric. He's not gonna die to something that's not an electric. Like, he only dies by ground. He only dies by fighting. It's easier to remember, you know? And then grass just dies by a lot because they suck. Been great since Roblox is finally back. You're such a child. But it's Roblox. Roblox is such a child's game. Let's go scratch, scratch, scratch. Let's go. This song's starting to get a little bit annoying. Why not Zip Zap Clap? I don't know, it's too long. Like now I could just say, hey, Zappy. Excuse me. I could say, hey, Zappy. You know? Yeah, I don't like this guy's voice. It's really annoying. Yeah. Hey. PP, don't talk your Generation Z. Whatever, man. Whatever. What is this song, bro? It was down for like 4 days. Oh, it was down for 4 days? Damn, that must have hurt. If you're a loser or 3 years old, who else plays Roblox? I was joking. It's actually addicting a bit. Yeah, I know we're in the same gen. Unfortunately, I'm in the same gen as all of you guys. Oh, just barely. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. You guys are awesome. I'm just gonna keep tackling until Zappy learns a better move. That's a lie. Until he gets to level 8, though. She gets to level 8. It's not there we go. All level 8s. Let's go. Some badass want a Broetto and broke it. What's a Broetto? Alright, let's go into the tunnel. Yes, I'll save your stupid Weedle. Let's see. A Ho-Oh? Alright, let's Thunder Wave you. Tackle. You Whirlwinded me. Bite? Oh, that worked out well. Oh, that was dumb. Let's tackle you. Let's just tackle you. Yo, Zappy is beast. White herb. You're such a white herb. Sounds like a mean thing, but it's just what I picked up in the game. Yo, we're flying through it now. This guy gives you nothing. Oh, Oshawott would have been so sexy, but... Time to unfollow? Why? I'ma go? What happened? What's a Broetto? Broedio? Broedio?
Thanks for the follow.
Nathan 1911 is now following.
Thanks for the follow, Nathan. What is this? Oh, this looks good. Oh, is it Mexican food? It looks good. Burrito? Oh, it's like it's a burrito. Oh, I get it. It's a burrito. It's like a taco. No, it's like a burrito. I got it. The man was called Bert. Okay. We'll just tackle spam here. We had leftovers too. What a shame. Celebi. How did he not see me? Not see me? Damn, Zappy be killing it. Sheesh, Zappy. We're over leveling. I don't want to lose again. We're over leveling because I don't want to lose, and also because we have to prep for the next Nuzlocke. Just tackle it, kills everything. Look at that. Tackle. Jesus, no. Stop it. Scratch. The man who stabbed me? What? The guy who was called Bert was the man who stabbed you? Jesus. Well, not Jesus, Bert. That sounds this is pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. I don't know what you want me to say to that. It's just pretty bad. Oh my god. I need to get repels. Do I want this stupid Clefairy? No. Oh, actually, let's catch you. I only have 2 Pokeballs. I completely forgot about you. Let's go! We'll name you Fairy 1. No, we'll just name you Fairy again. You're not that useful yet. You know, it is what it is. Jesus. A Sigalibbalif. Let me go. I don't think I'll never fall on my left side again. Jesus. Well, what did the doctor say? Like, are you able to recover and stuff? Yes, give me the bell. Oh, let's bite. Ooh, bite did so well. Kabuto! Bite. When you don't know what to do, just bite your enemy. Gyarados sight. Now all we need to do is catch a Gyarados. Okay. I mean, we caught up pretty fast. We're already almost versing first gym. Getting cut soon. Only thing is, I do want Fairy to level up a bit. Oh, this is a new Pokemon. New Pokemon. A bear. Ursaring is pretty good. Ursaring is a normal type, though. We already have a normal type. I don't know if I want 2 normal types. Look, Ursaring's attack is insane. What the hell? It looks like I think this is considered Gen 4. It looks like he might learn Lick. Yeah, he doesn't really learn much, so... Oh, but he learns Cut. He learns Cut, Strength, around. He's an HM slave. He evolves at level 32. Yeah, I think we'll catch him. Oh, I forgot to get Pokeballs! I'm so stupid. I mean, hopefully we could catch him still. Let's risk it. Damn it! Oh my god, I could have double attacked again too. Cyril's path is gone. Jesus. I am such an idiot. I might not even get cut. Wait. Arios. Oh no, let me buy balls. Jesus. I don't remember. Oh. No worries. Let's buy some more stuff here. New Pokemon, new Pokemon, new Pokemon. A Basculin! Yes! Can you double slap him? Double slap one more time. One more time? Alright, let's change into Jackson. Don't want him to die. I actually really like Basculin. Come on. Come on. Oh. Maybe Zappy could hit. Zappy, don't kill him. No! Why am I such an idiot? Oh my god. Less Pokemon to train though, I guess. Nice emotes, bro. I'll say we'll train a bit more. Double tap. Damn, he has a stupid move. Oh, Mouth could do good here. Just bite. Mouth has a mouth to bite with, so that's pretty nice. I'll just go Charming Kiss here. Just spam that to level up. Hey, let's get you. Double slap did more than I expected. We'll actually take out double slap though. Let's verse you. Let's go. That was actually kind of scary. Electivire, Jesus. Oh, Scratch like killed it. Even though it had a fighting move. He's just too powerful. Oh, that's right, because fighting is oh, this is OP because fighting is physical. And our boy is normal. And he has really high defense, I think? Well, maybe I don't. Man said bend over. Did he? The song's so slow. Jesus, why? Why'd I have to go up against the freaking Raikou? Just charm and cry it to death. Let's go. Thanks for the applause. 19. Come on, Zappy. Let's go. Oh, he wants quick attack. Let's get rid of Leer. Probably, I'm an idiot. I should have gotten rid of Tackle, but should be fine either way. But can any of them learn Cut? If none of my guys can learn Cut, that's not good. Let's just Charm and Cry spam. Okay, we have... Our Pokemon are kind of sucky. They're all over the place. It's nice that we always get Fairy, though. Good timing. I know, right? Na, 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 na. Oh, well, did not mean to go into your house. Sorry, sir. We're gonna actually train here. I don't trust myself. One of the best songs of all time. Changed my mind. Let's verse her. Come on, more practice. Yes. Yes. Mouth is doing work. Mouth is doing God's work. Doesn't even make sense. Bite. I think I'll be happy if all my guys are level 11. If all of them, what do you guys think? I think it's good. Na 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 na. Because then I think we could take out the first gym without much trouble. And one more Pokemon, come on. I want a legendary though. Part of me does. Ooh, he learned Vine Whip finally. It's actually useful now. Part of me doesn't want him to learn now. Part of me doesn't want to get a legendary to make it more difficult, but part of me wants to get a legendary to make it easier. Which makes sense, I guess. Oh yeah, Teddy Ursa was one we couldn't get. Teddy Ursa. And who was the other Pokemon? Oh, Basculin we couldn't get. He back from the dead now. Give him some head. Ooh, bars. Bars. No, I'm not gonna give anyone head. Hey, he wants to learn double slap again. No, you will not learn it. Everyone's level 10. I think we're okay. Also, I'm feeling pretty goodish because our starter is really tanky. So I'm not too scared. Two Charmings. A Bronzong. Let's use Bite. Yeah. Sceptile. This is Bite again. Mouth is an interesting Pokemon, but very kind of dumb. Oh. Why do I use Bite? Vine Whip. Gallade. Oh, let's go with our starter. Our starter has to catch up. Come on. Good boy. Damn, he leveled up a lot from that, actually. Let's go heal up. I say this all the time, but this is from Magi. An amazing anime. Let's get Zappy up a bit. What is it? Up? No, it's down. So confusing. Oh, Luxio. Memories. Shelmet. He just got a helmet on. It's Quick Attack. Quick Attack is so nice. Wait, what the heck? Verse me Whammon. I think Mouth could do very nice here with Vine. What? With Bite? Why did I think Vine Whip was so good here? You're about to die. Meow. Demon Slayer? High School... Demon Slayer has a nice opening, but it's kind of overplayed, you know? I think that, yeah. I think... What did I say? Whatever I said was good. Magi. M-A-G-I. Magi? Oh my god. That anime, that opening is just so good. High School D&D, I don't know the opening. Monster Museum? I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Alright, let's put that. Are we ready to verse the first gym, though? No. Will we verse the first gym? Yes. Let's put Jackson up first, just because he's tanky. I don't remember the way. What is the way? Down? And then up? No, down. And then... Huh? Up and then down? Wait, what? Yeah, I think you just go down here. Time to verse you, bro. Ooh. Ooh, this actually is... we could use Mouth for this. Come on, Mouth. Do more damage. Let's go. Tentacool. Look it up. They're good animes. I know about High School DxD because of hentai, but I don't know about Monster Museum. I might have heard of it before. I don't think I watched it. Acid. Damn it. Why does he have acid? We're gonna heal here just in case. Well, we'll heal up one last time. Oh, special defense went down. Jesus. But Tentacle is dead. Please don't have a water Pokemon. I don't want. We can't heal up Mouth now. We got Pumpkaboo. Hey, he's in season. That's quick attack. You see how much that does. Oh, it doesn't affect you. Thunderwave? Hey, Thunderwave is good. Let's Howl. I don't think Tackle... Yeah, we can't even attack you. Wait, we can't Yawn you. I'm such an idiot. I think Fairy is our only chance here. Charming Cry. Wait, he only has Scary Face? Oh, Confuse Ray. Let's just pump out because of Confuse Ray. And Charming Cry. No, hit Fairy, come on. Monster Hunter is really good. I watch it daily. Wow, how many episodes are out that you watch it daily? That's kind of crazy. Get out of here, Fernando. Stupid Fernando. Nah, he's not stupid. He's alright. He's an alright guy. Okay, can we teach Cut to anyone? Because if we can't, this might be GG's. That's not necessarily GG's, but... Where's our TM thingy? What the heck? What the heck? We don't have any TMs? Am I, like, high? Don't answer that. Did I never get... Huh? Huh? Did I never get the thing from the professor? Wait, am I that dumb? What the heck? My fine is at 15, hurry. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hurrying. Wait, what am I hurrying about? I'm trying to find the... I don't have a map. I don't have a TM thingy. Oh, because I don't have Cut yet. I'm such an idiot. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ooh. Salamence. Now it lets me pick it up. The game knew that it... The heck? The game knew that I would lose. That's why. New Pokemon, baby. What are we getting? Oh, yes! Yes! Shelgon. Do you guys remember what Shelgon was called in our previous run? Previous Nuzlocke? Because I don't. Actually, I could just check the latest video. Look up Monster Museum. Okay. Monster Museum. It's Musume, not museum. Musume means, like, girl. No, I don't know if... What the hell is this, bro? What is this? Jesus. Let's see. Let's see my latest video. Balls. What did we name Shelgon? I don't remember. Diamond. Hey, Baby. We name him Baby. So we gotta name him Baby. I'm saying as if I caught it already. Don't kill her. Don't kill her. Don't kill her. Oh my god. You crazy, Jackson. Please tell me I have enough. Okay, I have 4 Pokeballs. Please, Shelgon. Please join the team. Please. Please. Jesus, you burned me. Alright, we're gonna yawn. Oh. Okay, good. Okay, you're sleeping, girl. Please get caught. No, come on, bro. Okay, still sleeping. Come on, Shelgon, come on. Let's go! Yes! Only like 2 left. See you, Angel. Thanks for popping in, man. Have a great night. Have a great night. Oh, your baby. Oh my god, memories. Memories from our first ever Nuzlocke. Wasn't that long ago, but... Okay, Wisp Forest. Na, 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 na. Oh, he's burned. I don't want to go all the way back. Let's just continue. Baby's level 8. Oh, we could end up... Oh, instead of a Numel, we could have gotten a Numel. Baby has to survive until it evolves, though. That's what's... Ew. That's Thunder Wave you. And then Tackle you. Frozen? Really? Are you serious? Are you serious, Sappy? What is this game? How are you frozen for so long? Oh my... I've never seen that in my life. And now a crit almost takes you out. Alright, you're quick attacking. Oh my god. This is actually so... Another frozen? No, no. Oh my god, I hit a Dracometer. I just got so lucky with Metronome. Oh my god. It's like the luckiest you could get, bro. Ammonite. Oh, baby, get me up. Jesus. I think there's one more trainer here. We'll go with Fairy. No, there's 2 more trainers here. I really shouldn't be doing this, but... Dragon Rush. Shift Gear. Razor Leaf. Alright, let's use Charming Cry. Let's not use Defense Curl. No, it had a poison move. Okay. Wait. I'm dumb. Why did I change into Mouth? Oh, okay, we killed it. Okay. Poison kills both guys, unfortunately. We got Tyranitarite. Ooh, that could be very cool. Okay, no more trainers. Finally. Okay, good, good, good. Give me cut. Did I get cut yet? 34. Oh. It's good I peed already. Extreme stretch, yeah? Now it's the leg by leg. Oh my god, it cracked. One leg. Oh, 2 legs, baby. Let's go. And now it's regular stretch. Oh, you need to stretch when you're gaming. I forgot to add the rest of the Pokemon though. Let's add the rest of them here, yeah? They've survived. They're part of the team. Freaking baby. Oh, Clefairy's already there. Hell yeah. All we need to do is add baby. Shelgon. Ooh, look at that. He takes up the whole screen. He's a bit big. Let's make him a little smaller. Get him in the middle here. And, yeah. What's this?
Nothing like that good nut feeling. Nothing beats the feeling of nut in your mouth. How about some nuts? I love the taste of nut in my mouth, Paul. I love swallowing some healthy nut. Nothing beats some delicious nuts. How about those nuts in your mouth? I love a good nut. I don't know about you, but I'll munch on some nuts all day long. There's to some nuts in your mouth.
Bro, what's wrong with nuts in your mouth? I don't get it. I don't get it, bro. There's nothing wrong with nuts in your mouth. I don't get it. I like nuts in my mouth, but I guess that's just me. Where's the Buja? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. A lot of people could learn it. We'll give it to Mouth. It actually does better than some of the other moves Mouth has. Hey, this round's looking kind of bad. But we're going to make it work because we have Baby. I'm not letting Baby die again, okay? Baby has died way too many times. Alright, now that we have cut, we have access to this. Which we do this. We press BBB. And now we basically are forced into the next area. Oh my god, let me run away. Extra reveal would be sexy. We're not gonna train Baby, actually. We're just gonna have Baby have, Jesus, that's a high level. There we go. Spam, Charming, Cry. Ooh, that actually worked out pretty nicely. Seadra. We'll get Zappy out here. We'll Thunder Waves and do some quick... Let's howl a bit. Do some quick attacks. That worked out nicely. Oh, so many trainers here. It gets scary. Let's use Metronome. Stomp. That was cool. Lava Plume. Guillotine. Oh my god. Metronome's so good sometimes. I mean, it's literally randomized. I should have used Metronome before when we were getting owns. No, you poisoned me. Let's go to Jackson. Jackson needs some more practice. I didn't get poisoned, thankfully. I should have changed versus the Piplup. That was kind of dumb. But I just wanted Jackson to get some more practice. Oh, he's poisoned. Wait. I almost moved very carelessly with a poisoned teammate. Let's do this. Let's do the double battle. I don't care. I believe in myself. Yeah, thank God. That could have been bad, I guess. I could just spam the Cocoon out of existence. Yes! Learn Spark. What? Quick Attack only does 40, but Tackle doesn't hit first, so we'll take out Tackle. I completely forgot about that guy. I forgot he exists. I forgot to train before versing that guy last time. That was dumb of me. Did I? I feel like I forgot it. There's also another route there. I definitely forgot it. We could have gotten more practice, and I forgot. So this is Eros Road, where we tried to catch a Pokemon. But this is a Seadra. Jesus Christ. It's Bite. I want to see how much Bite does. Not much. I'll just do that. Oh, never mind. It's just the TM. Taunt. Ew. Don't care. Taunt could be useful, but not the way I play, I guess. These guys are kind of strong for some reason. I honestly don't know the reason. So, let's get Jackson out. He's the lowest level guy, but he's high HP. Ooh, wait, we can't even fight. Let's Spark you. Gligar. Wait, this... nope. Let's Mouth you. That sounds weird. Vine Whip you? Jesus. He sand attacked so much. Can we hit... Can we hit one more Vine Whip? One more... Oh, he's almost dead. Let's change. Let's go with Charming. Cry. That was easy. That wasn't easy, but that was easier than it could have been. Let's verse this next guy. Gonna do a Yawn into Scratch just because it's more safe, I guess. No! Alright. Vine Whip. Vine Whip. Jesus. Such high level guys. We almost have a full team. I wonder who the... I'm kind of thinking to just keep 6 Pokemon instead of switching around. I feel like it would be kind of more fun. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, Thunder Wave into Spark. Jesus, that did not do that much. Could change into Jackson. Oh, why'd I yawn? I'm such an idiot. Oh, I'm burned. Change into Fairy. No, no, no! That was an accident! Oh, this is why you don't speed up. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. And now I change into... You know what? Bite doesn't kill him. Are you serious? Jesus Christ. Oh, Fairy's so useful. It's okay. We didn't want you anyway. Let's release you. Jesus. So sad. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na na na. I just released him without even like any thinking. I was just flying through this. Oh my god. Oh, let's get this item. Guard spec. Don't care. Okay, there's a few more guys. Another... Oh my god! He's gonna sweep our whole team with Dragon Rage. Okay, we got a yawn down, which is good. Let's use Scratch. Oh. Wait, this is really bad. Okay, I could survive. Dragon Rage does 40 damage every time. Oh my god. Let's use Potion. Jesus, I have no potions left. Okay, I have to yawn. Now, oh, I pressed yawn by accident. Okay, he's following his... What moves does Dragon have? We're just gonna have to use Baby and bite him. Jesus. Well, that's another reset. Wait, what the heck? Oh. That's another reset. I mean, technically, I could just go with Jackson, but I'm not doing that. Oh, God. It's 4 resets now. I don't want to reset. I'm tired. I'm actually really tired today for some reason. So I think I'm gonna call it an early night 3-hour stream. Sorry, y'all. I will be back. Well, might as well X out of this. I will be back tomorrow, though. So, yeah. See you guys tomorrow. We're gonna try to challenge this again. And I think we'll do community games tomorrow, too. Depending on how I feel. Let's see if there's anyone to raid. Not really. There's like one person who's a pretty cool guy. Do I want to raid him? I'll raid him tomorrow. Have a good night/day, everyone. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye. Horny indeed. Goodbye.